So you are thinking about moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, specifically North Raleigh. That's a great idea. It is a great place to live. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 different neighborhoods at different price points so that you can understand what you might be able to afford and what you might most enjoy in each one of those neighborhoods. In addition, I'm going to share with you a little bit about each neighborhood. I'm going to tour some of the amenities, some of the community centers, and help you understand what life might look like in North Raleigh. I'm going to give you a little bit of context to North Raleigh, show you around a bit. Right behind me is Sola Coffee. It's a great place that you're not going to want to miss if you are in North Raleigh. This is a Greystone Village shopping center. There's lots of housing around here. We're going to tour a neighborhood called Greystone nearby. 2 Roosters Ice Cream is definitely a place where you bring the kids, bring the family, bring the in-laws, as well as Gonza's Tacos y Tequila, which is right behind me as well. So let's go check it out right now. If this is your first time to the channel, hit the subscribe button or tap the bell below. That way you can get some of the most up-to-date, interesting information about North Raleigh and the real estate market in North Raleigh. My name is Pete, and I get calls from people just like you every single day. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, you should take my contact information below in the description. Call, text, email, set up a Zoom meeting. Let's talk about Raleigh. Let's talk about North Raleigh. Let's talk about a smooth transition to the area. I'd love to help you out. I'm in the middle of the Greystone community, and right behind me, this house is about 1,800 square feet, 1,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths on about 0.36 acres. You can see it's really a nicely wooded area. This is at $465,000, I believe. You know, it's a great option, a great entry into North Raleigh. You know, one of the benefits of houses like this is you have a lot of opportunity to make some updates throughout the house. Obviously some cosmetic updates that are needed, but for all intents and purposes, a very well-maintained house in a great area of North Raleigh. So something you want to really consider is, how much do I want to put into a house? How much do I want to have a house already that's ready? Something to pay attention to that sometimes I'm talking with clients about when they're looking at houses that maybe need some cosmetic updates is, how much cash do I have on hand? You know, it's easy to watch HGTV and say, okay, I'm gonna do all these things, and the price of the house fits in my budget. But you know, you want to consider how much is that really going to cost you, and that's something that I can help you out with, is get a general idea of what, you know, updating a house, refreshing it might be. But in the back end, the value of this house is the location. So it is right in the middle of North Raleigh. Greystone community has a ton of amenities in terms of the pool, the lake, the walking trails, volleyball courts. You're very close to Greystone Village, where you would maybe go check out Gonza's y Tequila, or you're gonna go have coffee at the coffee shop. All of those things are within a half a mile, you know, quarter mile away. So something you want to take into consideration about North Raleigh is really the amenities, the price, all those kinds of things. So let's check out another one in the neighborhood. So check this out behind me, guys. This house is in the upper 500s. It's a 5-bedroom, I believe it's 3 or 4 baths, about 3,200 square feet, and it has a basement. That is very unique in Raleigh. They're around, but they're not very common. Most houses in the area are either on a slab or they're on a crawl space. And if you're not familiar with those, we can talk about what those are, but really it just has to do with, there was no need to dig a basement because the frost line isn't that deep. So it's cheaper to build up. So this one's pretty unique with 5 bedrooms at under $600,000 in an area that is, again, really close to so many amenities. You're close to Target, close to Whole Foods, close to Greystone Village with all their shops and restaurants and the community centers, and easy to get around North Raleigh. You're probably still only about, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes from the airport at most. You know, this neighborhood, as you can see, is a city maintained street. So if you check it out, there are sewers, there are septics. Down the street, there are some sidewalks kind of leading back and forth across the neighborhood. You are also very close to the Montessori School of Raleigh, close to charter schools. Super rare house with 5 bedrooms in North Raleigh. under 600 grand. So you can see right behind me is the pool for the Greystone community. It is a really nice lap pool, great for kids to learn in their swim teams. And this pool is not necessarily included in the HOA fees for Greystone. That's a little bit of an extra fee. The annual fees for Greystone are right around $300 a year. And that gets you access to tennis courts that are, I'm going to show you in just a second. And it also gets you, there's volleyball courts, and it helps to maintain some of the trails that go around the lake, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But keep in mind, these kind of community pools and community areas are dotted all over North Raleigh. So lots of communities have them. What's nice is you can join them. You don't have to be a member of that community. So you can pay a fee, live somewhere that doesn't have a community pool and come here to Greystone. Or there's some other ones like Springdale Estates. Then there's Seven Oaks, which is just down the road. Seven Oaks has, I don't know, 15, 20 different tennis courts. It also has multiple pools and swim teams and pickleball courts and things like that. So there's a lot of options in North Raleigh for you to check out. And if you want to be outside in the summer, have a pool that you go to, and not necessarily have to maintain one, and have access to tennis courts and things like that. It's a very active community in North Raleigh. Something I want to point out, these guys are out painting, fixing up the little clubhouse, the snack shop. This is very typical of some of the pools here in North Raleigh and some of the community centers that you can be a part of if you move to North Raleigh. So let's go check out some of the other things at the community center here for Greystone. So I just want to point out here at Greystone, there are 2 tennis courts right here, and then beyond it, there's a pickleball court and another tennis court on the other side, so kind of 2 and 2. You'll see over here, I'll spin around, we've got a volleyball pit, 2 different volleyball pits. Back up here, a little spot to play some basketball. And it's just a nice little community center down here, buried in the trees, right in the middle of North Raleigh. Sometimes you think about, where do I want to be? Are there going to be a lot of trees around? What is that environment going to look like? It's just a nice, quiet area to come and hang out, be with your family, go to the swimming, do some tennis lessons, and enjoy the warm weather during the summers here in Raleigh. I'm going to take you down the path, and we're going to go check out what the little lake where you can drop a line. Welcome to the Greystone neighborhoods, park, trails, lake. As you can see behind me, a little covered bridge coming across the trail, stream that runs all the way down here into the lake. We're going to go check that out right now. This area, the trails here are not paved, but they're fairly well maintained. You can ride your bikes on, you can do that kind of thing out here. There's picnic areas down here at the lake. A lot of the neighborhoods around Raleigh have parks, community areas that are like this or similar to it. A lot of little lakes around Raleigh where you can fish and bring a kayak to, canoe, bring a paddle boat. I may not swim in them, but not because there's anything wrong, they're just not super deep. And you can see, turn around here, the Greystone Lake out here. It's a sizable place to come hang out, throw a canoe, kayak, hang out, fish a little bit. You can see there are houses on one side, kind of buried back behind the trees. You can't see the houses on the other side, but there are. Easy to get over to Creedmoor Road, go north-south. Easy to get over to Six Forks Road, go north-south. You can go east-west around here. Just a real easy place to live in terms of accessibility, amenities, and you still get to enjoy nature out here at the park. So I'm right here in the middle of the Stonehenge neighborhood in North Raleigh. It is one of the most sought after neighborhoods in North Raleigh at fairly reasonable price points. So primarily in the 7 to mid 800s in this neighborhood. You can see there's sidewalks around the neighborhood. There's probably between 12 and 1,400 houses in this neighborhood. So there's different sections. They're about $20 a year. There's not a lot of extra amenities in the neighborhood, but it's very, very close to Lake Lynn Park. And Lake Lynn has a great walking trail. That's a few miles around it. There's lots of turtles and there's a little bit of fishing in there. You can kayak or canoe in there. It's just down the street from where I'm at right now. So this house is under contract. It's sold in about 4 days and it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths or 2.5 baths. And you can see it's on a corner lot, right? With a cul-de-sac right down here. So it's got, a lot going on for it. A very nice neighborhood, nice yard. It's about 2,500 square feet. And when you think about taxes in North Raleigh, I get that question often. The county taxes are 0.5, a little over 0.5. So 50 cents per $100 of value. And then the city tax is about 0.3. It's a little bit higher than that. So call it round around 0.8. So 80 cents per $100 of value. So your taxes on this, you're paying both county and city taxes. So if you just keep that in mind, if you're within city limits, it's about 0.8. If you're just in the county, and I'll show you some houses where you're just in the county, it's about 0.5. You can see there are sewer drains. So this neighborhood is on sewer, it's on city water, very wide streets in this neighborhood. It's quiet. One of the things that I really like about North Raleigh is it's easy to get around even when there's traffic. So you have main roads like Creedmoor Road, you've got Six Forks, you got Leesville, and those are main thoroughfares north and south in North Raleigh. But you have all these neighborhoods that allow you to transverse to kind of get across North Raleigh pretty easily without having to, back up traffic and things like that. So, there are a ton of amenities nearby. You have the Seven Oaks Swim and Racket Club, which is just hopping in the summer, 5 to 10 minutes from Target, from Whole Foods. You are in between two Harris Teeter grocery stores. Nearby is a Trader Joe's, lots of restaurants, easy to get access to 540 and get out to the airport or get out to Research Triangle Park. It's just you can tell it's really quiet in here. Great place to take your kids out or take your family out or just have a walk by yourself or go for a stroll and just enjoy being kind of a peaceful, quiet, all Americana kind of neighborhood. Let's keep checking out some houses in North Raleigh, but I think you're gonna really like this neighborhood if you keep an eye on it, if you're looking to live in North Raleigh. Something to keep in mind though, is these houses go pretty quick. It is one of the more highly sought after neighborhoods in North Raleigh. Before sharing any other houses, I wanted to share with you what the Lake Lynn Community Center and Park looks like. So right behind me is the community center. It has pickleball courts that are inside, it has basketball courts, it has meeting rooms, there are classes that happen in here, fitness classes, arts and crafts classes, there are kids events. Behind the building, I'll show you, there is a great park for the kids with slides and swings and all that kind of stuff. Just up the road from me in the park are 4 tennis courts, which you'll see as well. And it's really a great park. And don't forget the Lake Lynn itself has about a 3-mile trail loop around it. Really great trail, popular. I used to bring my kids out here when they were little all the time when we didn't have anything else to do. We'd go for walks. They would see turtles and ducks and fish. There's lots of people and dogs, and it's just a great community place to go and just relax, enjoy the day. What's really cool about the Lake Lynn Park Trail is you have these boardwalks. They go around about a third, maybe a little bit closer to half of the entire lake, and they give you a little bit of diversity when you walk. You can kind of see this swampy area. There's tons of turtles and things to see in here. You can kind of check out in a little canopy in the water. It's kind of neat. I'm going to spin around and you can see back down here around the lake. The whole thing is about 3 miles, goes around the lake. Really fun place to just kind of hang out, go for a walk, check out some wildlife. On this side of the lake, you can see a neighborhood up there. And then on the other side, where we just were in Stonehenge, are houses that back up to the lake as well. Not every house does in Stonehenge. There's 1,400 houses in Stonehenge, so only a handful of them do, but it's worth checking out. This is the Swans Mill neighborhood in North Raleigh. Now this neighborhood is in the county. It's not in the city. It still has a Raleigh address, but we're a little bit further north, in fact, quite a bit further north than where we've been checking out most houses. And we're up near Falls Lake. Falls Lake is a fully recreational lake. It's pretty big, lots of fishing, lots of water sports out there, easy public access. Very popular spot in North Raleigh to go on the weekends if you've got a boat, or if you're, better yet, have a friend who has a boat. The lots in this neighborhood are all gonna be an acre plus. I'm gonna show you 2 houses right now that are 1.8 acres-ish each. This neighborhood is primarily 1 million to about 1.4 million. There might be something in here that's 1.5 or even a little bit more than that, depending on the house. It's an established neighborhood. There's a lot of new construction in North Raleigh in this area on 1 acre lots and wooded lots and things like that. But I wanted to show you something that's been around for a minute. And this is a really interesting neighborhood. It does have an HOA and it does have some covenants, but the HOA is something like $120 a month. And there's a pool, a park. We'll go check it out when we're done with taking a look at these houses. But you can see that in this neighborhood, there's no curb and gutter, and that means that there's no sewer, right? So these houses are primarily on septic, and they're, I believe this neighborhood, in fact this neighborhood is on a community well. So there is a well that serves the entire community that a third party company manages that well. Some of the neighborhoods up here have their own wells, and some of them are on a community well, but there's no city services. So something to consider when you're looking at this area in particular. What's unique is, the proximity to Falls Lake. You are still only about 10 minutes to the middle of North Raleigh. So in about 15 minutes, you're to that Target, to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, that kind of thing. So it's about 7 to 10 minutes to get down to 540 from here, and 540 will take you out towards the airport and back up to RTP, so the Reachers Triangle Park. And that is, probably in the order of magnitude somewhere around 30 minutes anywhere in RTP from here. So it's still very accessible. It's just a little bit more quiet, a little bit less dense. There's not as much commercial traffic. Something to pay attention to when you are particularly north of 540 in this area is airport noise. So even though we're probably 20 minutes from the airport, planes do fly over these neighborhoods. There is an airport noise disclosure that is supposed to go along with a lot of houses. I'm not sure if this neighborhood requires it or not, because it'd be on the very outer edges of that. Most people are not bothered by it. It's really not that excessive of noise, but just something to pay attention to in case that is something you're interested in. This house behind me is about 4,300 square feet, and it is about 1.3 million. And it is, you can tell, on a 1.8 acre lot, full brick house. It's just a really nice house. It might need a little bit of updating in the inside, but well maintained. It's close to the entrance to the neighborhood. You have a lot of trees, they're set back. So, it's just, I really like this house. By the way, this house is 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. 5 bedrooms is often kind of hard to come by. So that makes this a little bit unique. If that's unique, this house behind me on the other side of the street is 6,000 square feet and is a bit more of a unicorn in that it has 6 bedrooms and it has 6 full baths, 2 half baths. So I hope you like cleaning bathrooms. But it has a basement that's about 700 square feet, I believe, something like that. And it has about 300 of that's finished. So again, this is on about 1.8 acres, set back off the road. It's 1.1 million and it's under contract right now. So these are the type of houses that you'd see in these established neighborhoods in North Raleigh. Not all of them are 6,000 square feet. Most of them are closer to about 4,000 to 4,500 square feet. Very neighborhoody kind of feel without a whole lot of hustle and bustle. I hope you like to see deer in the neighborhood as well, because there are a ton of deer around, which is really fun to see, especially in the spring. Right about now, when we have the little ones start coming out, you see all the fawns come out. And that's really cool. You see families of deers running around out here, but they like to eat all your plants, even those things that are deer resistant. The deer around here don't seem to be too fazed by them. So keep that in mind. Let's go check out the HOA amenities and a little bit of the neighborhood. So this is the Swans Mill community area. There's the pool behind me. I'll show you the tennis courts in a second, but check it out, y'all. This is a really just idyllic setting. You've got a lake back here, small lake. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty darn sure there's probably some fish in there. It's just really nice setting. So if I take a look around, there's a handful of houses around the park here, and it's just a really cool spot. That pool will be filled up here in the next month or so. People out there swimming, enjoying it all summer long. So this is part of where your HOA fees go to. Remember, I think it was about $150 a month, $120 a month. So it helps maintain this area, the communal areas, maybe some of the road maintenance, things like that, lights around here. And there is a lot of new construction in this area, some really great builders. I haven't shown you those in this video. We'll probably come back around and show you a handful of new construction builds in this area. When we look at lot price, most builders are building at a lot price to build at about a 1-to-5 ratio. So if you're looking at lots that are $300,000, minimum price on that house is probably going to be somewhere around 1.5 million. So a lot of the 1 acre lots up in here are generally in that price range. So a lot of the new builds north of 540 are generally in that $1.5 to $2 million range at this point, just because the builders can't acquire those lots at a price that makes sense to build much lower. And you can't build a lot lower density in places where where you're required to have septics. So there's not a lot of land left inside 540 to build, maybe some tear downs and one-off lots like that. So a lot of them in North Raleigh are pushed up into this direction. Here's the tennis courts. Just point out, they are supposed to be green. They are yellow. That is pollen. Hopefully you can see the pollen in there. That will go away by early May. That's pine pollen mostly. For me, that doesn't affect me too much. For some people, it really does. It's all the other things that bloom that kind of get me. So a lot of people have moved to North Carolina, end up for a month or so experiencing a little bit of allergies because of, the massive amount of blooming, but it sure is pretty out here. So I'm gonna give you your 2 facts about North Raleigh. The first one is that north of 540, almost every house north of 540 is on some kind of well and septic. There are some exceptions a little bit closer to Falls of Neuse Road, which is a little bit closer to Wake Forest and the east side of North Raleigh, that is north of 540. And there are some exceptions that are a little bit closer to Leesville Road, which is a little bit on the west side of North Raleigh, north of 540. So if you're looking at properties that are north of 540, vast majority of them are going to be on well and septic. Some of them may have a community well maintained by a third party for the entire subdivision, but by and large, well and septic. I wouldn't let that intimidate you if you've never been on well and septic before. It is pretty commonplace in the area. Not a lot of issues that I've run across for my clients or for myself. I'm on well and septic, so something worth checking out. The other fact is, or the second fact is, the drinking water from Raleigh, or for Raleigh, comes from Falls Lake. So Falls Lake is a very protected watershed in the area, and there are a lot of kind of restrictions for building that relate to runoff. So you think about how much land or how much space do you have that's permeable that you can use to build, how far are the setbacks from local streams, things like that. So it's just kind of an interesting fact more than anything that the drinking water comes from Raleigh, or for Raleigh comes from Falls Lake. So there are your 2 facts about North Raleigh, and hopefully those help you make some decisions about where you might want to live, as well as this video. Hey, thanks for checking out this video about North Raleigh. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think about North Raleigh, so drop a few in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell below so you can get some of the most interesting, up-to-date market information about Raleigh, North Carolina and the surrounding areas. Make sure you take my contact information, my phone number, my email, or even set up a Zoom call with me using the contact information in the description, and I will check you out next time.